ओके, आज की क्लास के अंदर वी विल बी स्टार्टिंग चैप्टर नंबर 4। सबसे पहले काम ये करते हैं कि चैप्टर नंबर 4 के लर्निंग ऑब्जेक्टिव्स की तरफ देख लेते हैं। एंड बिफोर दैन दैट एक काम ये भी करते हैं कि साथ साथ में बल्कि इसके जो चैप्टर 3 है इसके लर्निंग ऑब्जेक्टिव्स मैं व्हाट्सएप के ऊपर शेयर कर देता हूँ। तो आप लोग जब इस चैप्टर का रिवीजन कर रहे होंगे तो यू कैन बेसिकली मेक अ चेकलिस्ट ऑफ द आइटम्स जो हमने कंप्लीट कर ली हैं और जो हमने कंप्लीट नहीं की हैं। और मे बी इफ यू हैव एनी प्रॉब्लम्स विद दैट सो यू कैन रेफर बैक टू मी। तो this is 3.1. 3.1 we already completed. Then this is 3.2. 3.2 we also completed it. Then after 3.2 we have 3.3, which is data storages. We have also completed that. And even after 3.3 I have 3.4. So 3.4 is about MAC address differences between IPv4 and IPv6. I have shared the screenshot as well, and let me share the IPv6 and IPv4 differences just in case if I haven't done so. So just after that, we need to start chapter number 4. Chapter number 4 is right here. That is softwares. So in chapter number 4, it says that first of all, we need to learn about the difference between system softwares and application softwares and provide examples of each. That means, first of all, we are going to discuss in terms of what is a software, and then we are going to discuss the differences between them. Then we need to discuss the roles and functions of an operating system. Then we need to discuss hardware, firmware, and describe the roles and operations in an interrupt. So let's start it. So basically, in this chapter, we are going to discuss about a software. One thing is that all computers begin life as a group of interconnected hardware items. Group of interconnected hardware item means that all of the hardwares are connected with each other. Yet, along with the hardwares, you also need a software as well to work with the computers. What I mean to say is that even if you have a hardware and if you do not have the appropriate software, so your computer will not work. So, as I discussed in the earlier chapters as well, that computer is a combination of hardware and software to complete your specific task. That means that even if you have a hardware and if you do not have a software, your computer will not work. And even if you have a software and you do not have that appropriate hardware, it will not work. So first thing is that right in front of you is basically a diagram. So in this diagram, you can basically see the level of details that I have when I want for a computer to work. In the first layer, you can see that I have my hardwares. So in your hardware part, all of your computer hardware components will cover up, such as keyboard, CPU, mouse, RAM, ROM, monitor, speaker. Like all of the hardwares are included here in the CPU, in the processor, and all of that. Then just after your hardware, you have the second layers. In your second layer, it says regarding the system software, and it says regarding the application software. That means that there's a difference, right? the difference between an application and system software. First of all, I have the hardware. After the hardware, I have the software. So it's like divided into system software and divided into your application software. So it's like this. First of all, I have the computer hardware. Then this hardware is divided into software. And within the software, right, I have here is an application software. And on this side, I have is my system software. So this is the segregation. When it comes to your hardware, here all of your computer components will be there, such as you have a CPU, hard drive, SSD, RAM, ROM, all types of hardwares. When it comes to softwares, it includes all those appropriate softwares that are required for completing a task or making the use of that hardware, because if you do not have that requested software, your hardware will not work. So then I have these two segregations, right? Like within the software, I have one is an application software, and within this, I have another is system software. So let's get back to it. If I have a system software, that means that in your system software, you are going to have your operating system. Your operating system means Windows. Like if you are having a Windows one, so it's like Windows 8, Windows 7, Windows 9, 10. If you are having a MacBook, so it refers to a version of an operating system. Because without an operating system, your system will not work. You also have the utilities. Utilities is that we will be discussing it as well. But utilities, like if I give you an example, so do you guys have utility bills at your home? So can you tell me what are the utilities that are included at your home?
Electricity,
Electricity, okay. Other than that,
light,
light, okay. So in utilities we have like basic necessities of our home, right? Like we have electricity, we have our water bill, like the basic necessities. Like without that we cannot make use of our day-to-day lives. Or if I even explain you more, that's like, for example, if you are purchasing a house or if you are taking it out for rent, the first thing you take is like you have a place where you can live. So if you have a place you can live, the next thing is that you need to have all of the utilities there. So what is the purpose of utilities? The purpose of utilities is to help you with your day-to-day life. So that means that you have two items right here. So first of all, you have your house if you are taking it for rent, and then what you do is that you cater the utilities of that house, such as electricity, billing, and all of that. Similarly, when we are talking in terms of a computer system, the first thing that we need is basically is an operating system, that I'm going to consider it as my basic house. But even without the required number of softwares or even without the required number of utilities, I cannot make use of my operating system. Similar is the way that even if I take a house and I do not have the basic utilities, I cannot live with it. Like I cannot live without the electricity, water, and all of these things. So even if you are taking a house, you need the utilities first. And even if you are making the use of the computer system, along with the operating system, utilities or just softwares are the most important one. So are you getting the point? In the first part, I have the hardware. The second part, I have the system software, where you have an operating system and utilities. Do you have any questions still here?
सर
जी.
सर ये यूटिलिटीज की कोई एग्जांपल दे सकते हैं कंप्यूटर में?
Antivirus, Google
ओ,
Chrome, data backup, file manager. माई कंप्यूटर, ये सब आपके पास यूटिलिटीज के अंदर आ जाएगा। क्योंकि विंडोज़ को इंस्टॉल करने के बाद यूटिलिटीज तो फिर इंस्टॉल करनी पड़ती है ना।
और सर ये यूटिलिटी सिर्फ सिस्टम सॉफ्टवेयर के अंदर इंक्लूड होती है ना?
जी जी जी, यूटिलिटीज से चूंकि वो सिस्टम सॉफ्टवेयर के साथ आती है। अभी
ओके सर।
ये टॉपिक एक्सपेंड होगा तो उसमें जो है फिर देखना।
ओके सर।
अच्छा, जिस तरह से एक घर है और उस घर में आप मतलब एज इट इज नहीं रह सकते, आपको यूटिलिटीज चाहिए, इसी तरह से अगर आपके पास एक कंप्यूटर सिस्टम और ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम है और आपके पास अगर उसकी यूटिलिटीज नहीं है, तो दैट मीन्स दैट आप के वो किसी काम का नहीं है। सबसे पहले हार्डवेयर की लेयर है, उसके अंदर सारी हार्डवेयर हैं। फिर सिस्टम सॉफ्टवेयर के अंदर आपके पास आ जाएगी ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम और यूटिलिटीज। अच्छा, फिर तीसरी लेयर जो हमारे पास मौजूद है यहाँ पे वो है एप्लीकेशन सॉफ्टवेयर की। अब एप्लीकेशन सॉफ्टवेयर के अंदर यू हैव all of your applications that you download maybe from internet to your computer, right? Like for example, you can take an example of a spreadsheet. You have your games, you have your softwares, you have Microsoft Office, you have internet browser, you have the database, you have the word processor, you have the computer aided design softwares। तो ये सारे एप्लीकेशंस में आ जाएंगे। अच्छा, यूटिलिटीज के अंदर अभी मैंने बताया था गूगल क्रोम, तो वो यूटिलिटीज में नहीं आएगा, वो एप्लीकेशन में आएगा। यूटिलिटीज की मैं एग्जांपल्स अभी देता हूँ सारी। लेकिन फिलहाल ये पूरा स्ट्रक्चर आप लोगों को क्लियर है कि सबसे पहले हार्डवेयर है, हार्डवेयर के बाद सिस्टम सॉफ्टवेयर और फिर एप्लीकेशन है। एप्लीकेशन के अंदर आपके पास ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम और यूटिलिटीज है, और एप्लीकेशन के अंदर फिर ये सारे सॉफ्टवेयर है। इसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम?
नहीं सर।
अच्छा, ये रहा इसका पूरा चार्ट। जैसे कि सबसे पहले सॉफ्टवेयर्स आ गया, फिर सॉफ्टवेयर्स के बाद सिस्टम सॉफ्टवेयर है, एप्लीकेशन है। सिस्टम के अंदर ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम है, यूटिलिटी है, और आपकी डिवाइस के ड्राइवर्स हैं। एप्लीकेशन के अंदर स्प्रेडशीट है, वर्ड प्रोसेसर है, डेटाबेस है, इंटरनेट ब्राउज़र है, और सारे गेम्स हैं। अब सबसे पहले हम सिस्टम सॉफ्टवेयर को देखेंगे। सो इवन बिफोर आई कंटिन्यू, कैन यू गिव मी सम पॉइंट्स फॉर अ सिस्टम सॉफ्टवेयर, दैट व्हाई देयर इज अ नीड ऑफ सिस्टम सॉफ्टवेयर, और व्हाट एडवांटेज डू सिस्टम सॉफ्टवेयर प्रोवाइड मी?
Sir, because if we don't have system software, the computer won't be able to work itself.
ठीक है, और कोई पॉइंट?
सर, विदाउट सिस्टम सॉफ्टवेयर कंप्यूटर अपना हार्डवेयर और एप्लीकेशन चला ही नहीं पाएगा।
बिल्कुल ऐसा ही है। अच्छा, कुछ फीचर्स आपके पास यहाँ पर हैं रिगार्डिंग योर फीचर्स ऑफ अ सिस्टम सॉफ्टवेयर। अब सबसे पहला पॉइंट तो आपके पास यहाँ पे ये है सिस्टम सॉफ्टवेयर के फीचर्स के अंदर के इट इज अ सेट ऑफ प्रोग्राम्स टू कंट्रोल एंड मैनेज द ऑपरेशंस ऑफ कंप्यूटर हार्डवेयर। अगर आपको अपनी कंप्यूटर हार्डवेयर के साथ काम करना है तो with the help of it you can easily manage and control them. Without that you won't be able to make use of that. Second point is that it provides you a platform on which your softwares can run, क्योंकि अगर ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम नहीं होगा तो आपके सॉफ्टवेयर्स कैसे चलेंगे? Required to allow hardware and software to run without problems। आपकी जो हार्डवेयर और आपका सॉफ्टवेयर है that can easily run without problems। It can also provide a computer provides a computer human interface। A computer human interface means an interface with the help of that you can easily communicate with the computer। Controlling the allocation and usage of your hardware resources। That means जैसे मैं टास्क मैनेजर में जाके दिखाता हूँ कि कौन सी रिसोर्स कितनी कंजम्पशन ले रही है। अच्छा, फिर जनरल फीचर्स ऑफ एप्लीकेशन सॉफ्टवेयर। एप्लीकेशन सॉफ्टवेयर के फीचर्स क्या है? इट इज यूज टू परफॉर्म वेरियस एप्लीकेशन ऑन अ कंप्यूटर। अच्छा, ये अब एप्लीकेशन सॉफ्टवेयर के बारे में। एप्लीकेशन सॉफ्टवेयर से आप अपने कंप्यूटर के ऊपर काफ़ी सारी एप्लीकेशंस को इंस्टॉल कर सकते हो। इट ऑल्सो अलाउ अ यूजर टू परफॉर्म स्पेसिफिक टास्क यूजिंग द कंप्यूटर रिसोर्सेज, like maybe you can install any program and then with the help of computer use resources you can make use of that. It may be a single program, for example notepad, or a suite of programs. Users can execute the softwares as well, like whenever they require. So this is like some of the features of a system software and application softwares. So I hope you don't have any confusions in this. Now, if I move on, I'm going to first explain you the system software part. So system software, what is the basic definition? The basic concept of the system software is same, that these are the programs that allow the hardware to run properly and allow the user to communicate with the computer. But in it, it includes first of all your operating system. So your operating system is the most essential one. It includes your Windows. It includes like whatever platform you are running. So it is essentially the software running in the background of the computer. What is the main function of an operating system is that it manages most of the basic functions. So basic functions like whenever your computer is running it. So without the operating system, most computers would be very unfriendly and people might struggle for from working from day to day. So for example, what are the some of the features of an operating system? For example, your input and output operations. Maybe if you want to enter a sentence, or if you want to type a sentence, so you basically use a keyboard. If you want to generate an output, so you take the help of your printer. Users can communicate with the computer as well. Yes, like with the help of Windows, your error handling can take place. The loading and running of the programs can be occurred. Managing of security as well, such as your user accounts, such as your login passwords, so things like this. Similarly, and system software also contains device drivers as well. Now, you might have seen that whenever you connect any new equipment with your computer, maybe a new printer or maybe a mobile camera or a digital camera or something, you are always requested to install the device drivers. So what is the device drivers? Like these are some of the basic components of your device that makes sure that your device is properly working. It's like every time you connect a very new or a unique device, so your computer may not be aware of that, like how to work with it. So whenever you connect a new device, there is a device drivers for it. So what is the purpose of device drivers? They give instructions. They are the one that enables the hardware and software to communicate with each other. Like for example, without the device drivers of a printer, your computer cannot work because it does not know that how to work with the printer. So all devices connected to the computers have their associate hard drivers. Like for example, if you are playing sound, if you have a Wi-Fi, so all of these have their drivers as well. Then I have the concept of compilers and linkers. So what are these? First of all, let's discuss compilers. Compilers is basically an example of a computer program. What is the function of a compiler? The function of the compiler is that it basically translates a program written in high level language into machine code. A high level language code means that the language that is understandable by the humans, right? Like for example, Python, Visual Basics, Java, all programming languages that are understandable by the uh, by uh, uh, by us. So what they do is that they convert them into machine codes. What are machine codes? Machine codes are such as your binary codes. So a compiler is used whenever you are working with your programming areas. So what really happens is that once you have completed a script, a code into your programming language, so they convert it from high level language into machine codes. So this is the code which, why is that? Because it makes your computer easily understandable that what is the code. So it converts it so that it is directly understandable by the computer. It can be directly used by a computer to perform a required task. So the original program that you are writing in your programming language as a high level language, this is called as a source code. And after compilation, like, or after converting your source code into your machine codes, like like first of all, if you have written the code in Python, so in Python is known as a high level language, but when it is converted into machine codes or in binary after compiler, it is known as object code. So these are some of the examples. So do you have any confusions in compiler?
No, sir.
This is the basic use of a compiler, that for example you have a source program and it just converts your source program into an executable object code program. So I have shared this diagram on the WhatsApp group as well. This is compiler. After then that, the second area I have is linkers. So linkers, as the word says, a linker is basically a computer program. And what it do is that it takes one or more object files produced by a compiler and combine them into a single program. So for example, if you have more than one file and you want to compile them together into one file, so you basically use a linker. Like for example, many programming languages allow programmers to write different piece of code called modules separately. But if they are separately, that means that it might take a lot of time or they might take a lot of space. So to make it them easy or more manageable, so what we want to do is that we want to link all of them together into one area. So a linker is one that combines all of your files into one place. So let me share the example of a linker as well. Like this is one of the example. As you can see that you have different files. You have a library file, two object file, DLL file, exe file, and it has linked all of them. Like it has made a connection. It has made a communication with all of them. So as you can see right here as well, I have the source code. I have the object codes here, and in your linker, you are basically managing all of them together. So it comes under the title of system software, operating software, compilers, linkers, device drivers, and the last item I have here is utilities. So as discussed, utilities are the one that are installed on your operating system, or it may comes in default, but these are the softwares that are designed to carry out a specific task on a computer. That means that if you wish to complete a specific task, so you should be having that appropriate software. If you won't have it, you won't be able to do that. So these are the programs that are used to help and manage the computer, to manage your computer resources, right? Like for example, F. Shayan asked that what are some of the examples. The first example is an antivirus, virus checker, anti-spyware to check for viruses, backup of file, disk repair or analysis, maybe if there are viruses or problems into your disk, file management and compression, security, screensaver, disk defragmentation. We will discuss this part. So when it comes to utilities, they include all of the computer resources that are responsible for completing your day-to-day tasks. So do you have any confusion still here?
Mm.
No, sir.
अच्छा जी, सिस्टम सॉफ्टवेयर हो गया। इसके बाद आपके पास है एप्लीकेशन सॉफ्टवेयर। नाउ your application softwares are the programs that allow the user to do a specific task. आपके यूजर को they are allowing or they are giving you the user to potential to complete a specific task. So what is included in an application software? First of all, you have the use of a word processor. Microsoft Word. You guys know it all already that when you want to edit a document, when you want to edit a text, or if you want to generate an essay or report, so you use a word processor. That with the help of a keyboard, you are able to generate your text. So if you have a word processor, so that means that you can create, edit, copy paste functions, you can spell check, you can do all of these features. So make sure you do not write MS Word into your exam because brand names are not allowed. Please only write like the word processor. The second part is a spreadsheet. So make sure you write a spreadsheet, do not write Excel. So a spreadsheet is also very common. You are used to organize and manipulate data into numbers. You have data types. You can organize them into rows and columns. You have the ability to carry out the calculations, ability to produce graphs, and ability to do the modeling. Then you have the third part, which is known as a database. So in your database, it is used to organize and manipulate the data. So for database, you can convert it into rows and columns and fields, and later on you can add, delete, modify, or apply queries on that database. Database, like for example, if you have a school, that school must be having a database of all of the students. So they can they can edit it. So that's how it works. Then I have the application. So applications also come along with their application software, like they are referred to as a softwares which run on your mobile phones, or maybe if you can download any application from your Play Store or Microsoft Store. So they include all of the applications, maybe a video, games, GPS, or any other app that you want to make use of. It also includes under your application software because it gives you the potential to install all of those applications. Then you have the control and measuring softwares as well. They allow a computer or microprocessor to interfere with the sensor so that you can measure physical quantities, you can control applications, like you can compare the sensor value, generate an output. And in the last three parts, you have photo editing, video editing, and graphics manipulation. So in photo editing, you are quite aware of different softwares. Like if I want to edit a software, I can use MS Paint or I can use Microsoft PowerPoint. Like you just don't need to give the names of the software. You just need to give like the example that if you have these examples, that means that you have the ability to manipulate the digital photographs. So like you can change their resolution, you can remove the unwanted parts, you can crop them. If you have a video editing software, that means that you have the ability to manipulate the videos, produce a video, change the titles, add subtitles, copy them, create transitions. And the last, you have a graphics manipulation software. We discussed this in chapter 1.3 that graphics are consist of vectors and bitmaps. So as per your requirement, you can download that specific software and you can work on to that. Like for example, a bitmap software is Photoshop, but a vector software is Illustrator. So you can edit your images, you can change the resolution, you can work with the pixels. So this is it for this part. Do you have any confusion still here?
सर
जी जी।
सर पेपर में ये कभी भी पूछ सकते हैं कि एक्सप्लेन वर्ड प्रोसेसर स्प्रेडशीट क्या चीज़ होती है।
यार पेपर में ऐसे तो नहीं पूछेंगे। पेपर के अंदर वो मैक्सिमम आपसे ये पूछेंगे कि दो या तीन एग्जांपल दो एप्लीकेशन सॉफ्टवेयर की। तो एक एग्जांपल के अंदर आप लिखोगे वर्ड प्रोसेसर, एक में लिख दोगे स्प्रेडशीट, एक में लिख दोगे डेटाबेस। ये सवाल बनता नहीं है ना ऐसे कि वर्ड प्रोसेसर स्प्रेडशीट क्या है। लेकिन अगर फिर भी आ जाता है किसी भी सिनेरियो में, तो मैंने सिर्फ इस वजह से आपको एक एक दो दो पॉइंट बताएं कि वर्ड प्रोसेसर से आप क्या क्या कर सकते हो, स्प्रेडशीट से आप क्या क्या कर सकते हो, दैट्स इट।
ओके।
क्योंकि हमारे सिलेबस के अंदर लिखा हुआ है कि डिस्क्राइब द डिफरेंस बिटवीन सिस्टम सॉफ्टवेयर एंड एप्लीकेशन सॉफ्टवेयर एंड प्रोवाइड एग्जांपल ऑफ ईच। तो सबसे पहले सिस्टम सॉफ्टवेयर की डेफिनेशन आ जाएगी, उसकी सारी एग्जांपल आ जाएंगी। फिर एप्लीकेशन सॉफ्टवेयर की डेफिनेशन आ जाएगी, फिर उसकी सारी एग्जांपल्स आ जाएंगी। डिस्क्राइब द रोल एंड फंक्शंस ऑफ एन ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम। अच्छा, फिर ये यूटिलिटीज का पार्ट है जो अभी अभी मैंने आप लोगों को बताया है। तो यूटिलिटीज का पार्ट इतनी ज़्यादा डेप्थ में तो नहीं आएगा, बट यू नीड टू मेक श्योर कि हर यूटिलिटीज का काम क्या है, जैसे मैंने अभी ओवरव्यू भी आप लोगों को दिया है। जैसे कि यूटिलिटीज के अंदर सबसे पहले वायरस चेकर है। वायरस चेकर का काम क्या है? इट इज यूज टू फाइंड द वायरस, इट इज यूज टू एलिमिनेट देम। यू कैन जस्ट गिव बस इसको पढ़ लेना, देन वी आर गुड टू गो। डिस्क डिफ्रैगमेंटेशन में समझा देता हूँ ये क्या है।
Adobe Acrobat AI system is super helpful because it allows me to read through everything that I don't need and get to what isn't.
What does it mean to defrag your hard drive? Now, defragmentation reduces the amount of fragmented files on your hard drive. It reorganizes related data files and puts them in the same physical location on your hard drive. So, for example, as you install data on your hard drive, such as programs, documents, music, video, and so on, well, that data is actually divided into multiple chunks of data that are stored on the hard drive. So after a while, your hard drive will look something like this. All of your data is spread out and mixed in with other data files. So when you do a defrag, the defrag will reassemble all of the related chunks of data that have been broken up, and it'll put them together in the same physical location. So it's going to put all the files that belong to a certain program together, all the files that belong to a certain video together, the same with documents, music, and so on. And it's also going to put all the free space on the hard drive together as well. And after the defragmentation is complete, the files on your hard drive will look something like this, where all the related files are together and everything is nice and organized. So another example, let's install a program on this empty hard drive. And as it installs, notice how the files for that program are in close proximity to each other and are not scattered in different locations. They are close together. Now let's install another program, and let's install one more program. Now, as you can see, the data files of each of these programs were installed on the hard drive in close proximity to each other, which means that when you want to run one of these programs, the computer will run quicker because a hard drive doesn't have to do extra work by fetching data from different areas of the hard drive. Now, over time, as data is added and deleted, the free space on the hard drive will get smaller and will tend to spread out in different locations on the hard drive, instead of being in one general location. So as you can see, the free space on this hard drive is spread out into different chunks. So if another program is installed, the computer may not be able to find enough free space in one location on the hard drive to accommodate the program, because the free space is scattered in different locations. So for example, if we install another program on this hard drive, and if the computer can't find enough free space in one area for this program, the computer will scatter the program's data files in smaller chunks all over the hard drive. So it may put 50 megs here, 30 megs over there, and 20 megs in another spot. And when you have related files that are scattered into different locations on the hard drive, then this is known as fragmentation. And when you have a fragmented hard drive, the computer will run slow because the computer has to work harder to read and write data because the data is scattered all over the hard drive. And when this happens, you need to do a defragmentation. Doing a defragmentation gathers all of the related files that are scattered on the hard drive and puts them together so that they are in the same physical location on the hard drive. And it also does its best to put the free space together in one big chunk. And after the defrag is complete, the computer will run faster and more efficient. So as you can see from this before and after graphic, all the related data files are together and all the free space is put together. Now, you only have to do a defrag on mechanical hard drives because mechanical hard drives have disks that spin so that the heads can read and write data files. Now, solid state drives or SSDs do not require doing a defrag because SSDs have no moving parts. The computer can just pick and choose whatever file it needs, regardless of which memory chip the file is located on.
अच्छा जी, क्या समझ आया भाई डिस डिफ्रैगमेंटेशन में?